Good morning, good morning, good morning. Freedom marchers, freedom family, freedom lovers, and freedom fighters. Snapzilla Gorilla is in the building, hitting y'all with this morning paper, hitting y'all upside the head with this morning paper. Black Spring with Autumn already came to the building, dropping her support for your boy. Speaking of which, I'll wait till you guys get in, start coming in to talk about it. But yes, it is Monday, September 15th of 2025. And yeah, we're one day closer to the end of 2025, y'all. Time is going fast, faster than normal it appears, but we got it. We got it. So a lot of things going on surrounding this whole Charlie Kirk situation that we need to discuss. We need to have these discussions. We need to bring certain things to light because understand, they are playing in our faces. Dustin, salute to you. Good morning. These people are playing in our faces and they're having a great time doing it. You know, surrounding this Charlie Kirk situation. Now, we have to understand. We have to understand that this is a big deal, okay? It's a big deal because the assassination of Charlie Kirk likely does not have anything to do with what they're presenting to you, okay? And every time new information comes out from these individuals, from the propaganda branch of the United States government, right, via mainstream media, mainstream news outlets that trickle on down to these, these independent creators, especially the right-wing independent creators that take this and run with it. Even the ones who contradict themselves, who say they don't trust the government, but at the same time believes the information coming from the government because it aligns with what they believe, if that makes sense. It's called confirmation bias. Salute to Sam Seals in the building. Yeah. And we have to understand that when these people take this information and they just believe it and they present it to you like you should believe it, you have to question them as well. In my opinion, that's what I do, right? Now, I find it interesting that this cat, Tyler Robinson, has a very interesting lifestyle that perfectly fits the narrative of what they say is the motivation behind Charlie Kirk's death, right? They have to blame the right group for the death. And so the person that they say pulled the trigger has to fit the puzzle, right? He has to fit the puzzle, and he has to bring along with him the other pieces of the puzzle that fit perfectly into this narrative. And that narrative is that Charlie Kirk's death was motivated by his ideology, his right-wing conservative ideology, where he hated trans people, he hated black folks, he hated this, he hated that. Make no mistake, Charlie Kirk was a racist, and he did spew hatred and division. But I don't believe this is why he died. I don't believe that. Now, information is out here. They're saying that Tyler Robinson was a furry or had a furry fixation and had a trans partner that he lived with and had relations with, right? This is what they're telling us now. Oh yeah, he was a furry. And then they show a picture of him in some type of costume, animal costume. Oh yeah, he's a furry with a trans boyfriend or whatever the case may be. But Tyler Robinson really had no digital footprint. He had practically no digital footprint, but guess what? Guess who had a digital footprint and showed support for Joe Biden? His trans partner. So let me paint this picture for y'all. Taylor Robinson, who they say killed Charlie Kirk, was captured in multiple videos in multiple frames where there was no evidence that he was carrying any rifle to or from that location where they say he shot from. And he just so happened to be an individual who had a partner who was trans, and he was also furry fixated. And he also happened to write messages on the shell casings and on the rifle where there was messaging in regards to him being, pro-trans and pro-left and pro-this and pro-that. They wrap this all up in a neat little package. And they say, hey, look, y'all. Charlie Kirk was obviously killed because he hated trans people. And, he was presenting the idea that, well, a lot of these mass situations that have occurred recently have been committed by people within the LMNOP community that had gender dysphoria, or who identified as a gender that they were not born as. It's all in a nice, neat little package for you guys to consume. And so, what is the order of the day? The order of the day is, let's create a false narrative that will perpetuate the division that Charlie Kirk already fomented. Not just him, not just Charlie Kirk. Many individuals like Charlie Kirk and people on the left. Let's not get that wrong, because there are people on the left that foment and push division as well. This is what the agenda is. It's easy as well, because we have social media, we have impressionable individuals, we have people that don't use critical thinking skills as readily as they did back in the day, because every new generation is being surrounded by and raised by this new age information age. This new information age that we have, where information that is put out there can be easily manipulated. Thus manipulating you. It manipulates you as well. Well, Snapzilla, what is the point behind all this? Why would they do this? Why would they blame it on a guy who really did not do it? Why would all this why would all these perfect things fall in place to have us believe that this was done by some left-wing nut job? Well, because they don't want you to know who really was behind Charlie Kirk's death. I want you to know. Somebody says, quit lying. What am I lying about? What am I lying about exactly? Did they not? What am I lying about? That Tyler Robinson is... Anyway, y'all, I had to reset the whole situation. Now, Charlie Kirk allowed Dave Smith to go on stage at one of his events to discuss the atrocities Israel is committing against Palestine, and to call out the right for not calling out Israel, for supporting Israel for doing that. Here is what I believe. Not that it matters, right? What makes sense to me is that Charlie Kirk had influence. Salute, Black Swan. Salute to you. Good morning. Charlie Kirk had a large voice and a large amount of influence. He had chapters of Turning Point USA in over 3,000 schools. He had the youth. He had the conservative youth. He had the ear of the conservative youth. He had influence over these individuals. And it's important for Israel to have a large amount of support so that they can continue to do what they want to do with impunity, including genocide. And Charlie Kirk not only allowed Dave Smith to speak out against Israel, but also other members, other individuals. He allowed other individuals to speak on his platform about what Israel is doing. And according to a source close to Charlie Kirk and Donald Trump, he refused money. And also there's information out there that I want to gather for you guys and show you guys. A number of Congress people and senators, well, they take money from Israel. Money that we give to Israel every year. We give Israel billions of dollars each year out of our own pocket. And what do? Israel gives kickbacks to members of Congress and members of the Senate and other individuals within government. Now, can we simply say, all right, let's think about this. Maybe Israel has something to do with Charlie Kirk's death. Maybe. I'm not saying they did. I'm saying if I'm connecting dots, if I'm looking at everything surrounding this whole situation. Well, we also have to consider how much influence does Israel have over our so-called leaders within government of the United States. Well, we can't just look at Israel, can we? We also have to look at members of the government that run this nation. We also have to look at that. Right? And now, what does Israel have to gain from this? Well, you know, Benjamin Nosferatu is on a press tour right now, trying to justify what he's doing or what he's having his military do over in Palestine. It's important for Israel to have the support of the people because, you know, they know that, well, at some point, the shit's going to hit the fan. At some point, it's going to come to a point where there's going to be a lot of resistance to what Israel is doing. And it's not just going to stop with Israel, right? We have to look at the whole picture. We have to take a step back. We have to understand what Zionism is about. And that's what this is. This is Zionism. They rule by deception. They control by deception. This is one of their modus operandi. They deceive us. They deceive you. They don't want you to know they have as much influence as they have. They don't want you to know how much power they actually wield, but they do. There is a 60 Minutes clip where back in the day they had a Mossad agent who, of course, identity was covered up, right? You know, he went in there anonymous. He did an interview on 60 Minutes where he talked about how the Mossad operates, how they do shit for Israel through deception, right? They have a large amount of influence, you know what I'm saying? And they get a lot of things done. He said that the world is a stage and Israel are the directors, the producers, and the main actors. That's what they said. That's what he said. We have to understand what's at play here. Because if you believe, well, this whole thing about what Israel's doing is about self-defense. It's about eradicating Hamas. If you think that's all they're out to do, then you're sadly mistaken. You're sadly mistaken. And I believe this is what Charlie Kirk was coming to understand. That what is going on with Israel and Palestine is not about self-defense. Self-defense does not involve killing children and women. It does not involve that. They say 50,000 people have died in Palestine since the start, since they started attacking, Gaza, right? Since they started doing what they were doing in Gaza. Well, if you get accounts from individuals that have gone over into Hamas, and they believe, there are people that believe that hundreds of thousands of people have died in Palestine. They have gone into Gaza and they've seen all these buildings that have been leveled. They talk about how if you go through Gaza, all you smell is death all over the place. They have not cleared the buildings. There are people that have died and have been trapped in these collapsed buildings. They talk about dogs going around scavenging the body parts of dead individuals in Gaza. No one's cleaning it up. They just, Israel just levels entire cities and villages and just leaves everything as it is. Now, they'll go clean it up when they're ready, but they're not doing it right now. They don't give a fuck about these people's bodies. They don't care about proper burials, proper Muslim Islamic burials. They don't care about none of that. No, let them rot. Let them rot. These are things I'm hoping to be able to show receipts of to you guys some point this week or sometime this weekend. And also, let me let you guys know, I have plans to expand, basically expand on what I'm doing. I want to be able to, I'm gonna get together with somebody and we're going to work together to put this information out. Not just about this, but everything, as much as we can, to show you guys that there are people behind the curtains. There are people behind the curtains that are showing you what they want you to see, and they're manipulating you. They're lying to you. Nothing is as it seems. And one of the best ways to discover all this is by following the money. I have a young lady. Her name is Black Springwood Autumn. We're going to be working together to bring you this information. So the idea is I'm going to be discussing things during the week. Sure, conspiracy theorists, wabba da baba da boo boo, whatever your name is. Sure, conspiracy theorists. Let's take a term the CIA invented to discount and to discourage critical thinking and to question and to look at all the pieces of the puzzle, to not just look at what they present you. Let's look outside of that. Let's look at it from a different angle. Yeah, sure, that's conspiracy theory. Sure. Yes, he was a right extremist. And guess what? That made him an easy target. Because he created so many enemies with his rhetoric. That is, hey, man, we can just blame anybody. Now they're blaming the furries that love trans people. Yeah, let's blame the leftists. So what? Y'all don't want to know how you guys are being manipulated? You're okay with the programming? Because they're manipulating you and they're programming you. You are in a program. When you enter into this social media, when you enter into the internet, you are entering into the matrix that they control and manipulate. All that we want to do, individuals like myself and Black Spring with Autumn, is show you how they're manipulating you and what they're using to do it. Stormy B Man, salute to you. Salute and good morning, Stormy B Man in the building. If you guys enjoy boxing and boxing talk, y'all go check out Stormy B Man. We are going to be bringing you guys information for you to consume along with what they're giving you, right? Why not consume information from different angles and make a decision about what you want to believe? Because see, my agenda and what I've always done since the beginning of my channel is to push freedom and truth. Push freedom by way of truth. Those are not mutually exclusive things. So, they want you to believe that Charlie Kirk was killed by Tyler Robinson. And I'm saying I don't believe that. And I have a right to believe that. I have a right to believe that. I don't believe it. I don't ever believe what the media and the government tells me right off the bat. I just simply don't. And there are a lot of things that we have to understand about this Charlie Kirk. They want y'all to look at the left. Oh, the left did it. It was leftist ideology. It was leftist rhetoric. It was leftist this and leftist that. They killed him because of his ideals. They killed him because of what he said. Oh, let's compare him to Martin Luther King and JFK and all these guys. None of those individuals died because of what they said, because they went against your ideology. None of those people died because, they didn't like this group or that group, because they spoke out against this and spoke out against that. Not what they want you to believe they spoke out against. No, they spoke out against the system. They said, you know what? Nah. I have had an awakening. These individuals, I had a level of awakening. And now I'm going to go against the narrative that the system wants us to believe. Tyler Vandale, salute. Jennifer Curry, salute. Black Will Rise says, I appreciate you. Thanks for the info. No doubt, man. And we're going to bring you guys more info. More info is coming that you can see for yourself. Now, understand this. Those individuals that passed away, it was because they got close to the truth. They got close to the source of the manipulation. That's what happened. Charlie Kirk likely got close to the truth about who is really running shit over here, and that would allow the genocide over there. I told you guys yesterday that Charlie Kirk's friend and this was confirmed by other people, Charlie Kirk spoke out against Trump bombing Iran. Spoke out against that. And Donald Trump shut Charlie Kirk down. Charlie Kirk did not want the United States to bomb Iran on Israel's behalf. Charlie Kirk was concerned that Donald Trump was under the thumb of a malign foreign nation. This was back in June, right? This is back in June when Charlie Kirk spoke out against that. Yeah. Somebody asked, was it the Jews? I'm just telling you about the fishy shit surrounding this. Christ Crusader says Kirk supported Israel up to a point. And then he started to say, you know what? I don't know about that. No, Malcolm X did not die because he was against liberals, just so y'all know. Malcolm X died because he understood that the government was pushing division. He understood that the government was pushing division and manipulating people. And when he started to spread that message, hey, they had to get rid of him. JFK discovered that there were people pulling the strings. There were people pulling the strings that no one was aware of before he passed away, before they killed him. Farrakhan had X killed. Well, that is a belief, but the belief is also that the FBI helped with that. They worked together. They worked in tandem. Right? That is one of the beliefs. I have too much time on my hands. If looking into things beyond what they present to you requires me to spend a whole lot of time, then I guess I do have too much time on my hands. This is information that does not take a whole lot of effort to discover. It doesn't. Yeah, lazy guy in the car, absolutely. So lazy that you're in here writing in a comment section. Why are you writing in the comment section of a lazy person? Matter of fact, let me get you out of here. You don't deserve the trauma and the torture of listening to a guy who's lazy in a truck. Sure. Bro's a certified yapper with no basis in facts. That's where you're wrong, CJ2K. Everything I'm telling you is fact. I'm giving you my belief based on the facts that I presented you. Tell me where I told you anything false. You can't do it. Watch the video of the man next to Charlie, the one that was doing the hand signals. It appears that he was doing hand signals. Yes, I'm aware of that. I'm aware of it. I'm aware of it. Echo Expo, go ahead, say one thing. Spartan, let me help you out of here. I don't need your help telling me to go to work. You can go on ahead. No, he didn't touch a nerve. Not even a little bit. I'm not trying to waste people's time who believe that, you know, they shouldn't be listening to people they believe are lazy and all this other shit, or that should go to work. So if you want me to go to work, that means that you don't want me to be speaking to you. If you don't want me to speak to you, you don't need to be here. I don't delete people who simply disagree with what I'm saying. I'll block your ass if I feel like you listening to me is a waste of your time, I'm gonna get rid of you. What are you here for? Street kid, freedom of speech, absolutely. But freedom of speech, that's not freedom of speech. Y'all are confused about what freedom of speech is. There's also freedom of choice. If you choose to say that, I'm saying something that shows me that I'm wasting your time, I'm not eliminating you for freedom of speech. I'm getting you out of here so I'm not wasting your time any longer. Yeah. You keep doing you. Rabbit holes are friendly places for those with intelligence. Absolutely. The bottom line is they have presented you. Do you guys, let me ask y'all something. Put a 1 in the chat if y'all trust the government. Let's make this simple. Legendary Flea 5 drops a $10 super chat. I appreciate that, bro. Thank you so much. I appreciate it. He says, now you're working, brother. Keep speaking the truth. That's all I'm trying to do. That's all I'm trying to do. But based on facts. Like, the dude, they said he's a furry. They said he's a leftist furry with a trans boyfriend, whose boyfriend was supporting Biden on the internet. These are things that they're telling y'all. Y'all go to them and tell them they're liars if you don't believe it. A source close to Charlie Kirk went to a couple of journalists and told them that Charlie Kirk refused money from Israel. Charlie Kirk allowed Dave Smith on stage to speak out against Israel committing genocide and going in on the right for supporting Israel for committing genocide, being hypocrites. These are things that actually happen. But y'all coming to me telling me I'm a fucking liar because I don't believe the narrative that they're putting out? Okay. Sure. Charlie believes in freedom of speech. Sure he does. Sure he does. I heard there was a helicopter that flew away as soon as Charlie Kirk was shot. Is it true? I haven't heard that. I'll look into it. I haven't heard that, though. I appreciate that, though, Legendary Flea. Like I said, I'm not getting them out of here because of what they said. I'm getting them out of here because I'm wasting their time. So if you feel the need to tell me that I need to go get a job and all this other shit, well, then I'm going to help you go to work. You can say what y'all want. Gen Y trying to work out Gen Z, good luck. J-Man says, no, we don't want you to speak to us because what you're doing is spreading lies. You don't know what you're talking about. And these are, damn, where the hell that comment go? Tell me what lies I'm spreading. Tell me what lie did I spread? Do you know that Charlie Kirk said that you should have no rights? Yes, he said something similar to that. Yeah. Look, make no mistake, Charlie Kirk was a racist individual. Also, y'all don't trust the government. Oh, Mike did trust the government. A lot of y'all don't trust the government, but y'all mad at me for questioning the narrative the government is giving us. Okay, makes sense. Liberal crazy to ruin America. That's what they want you to believe, right? Sure. You know who's ruining America? The government. That's who's ruining America. Jeff Reed drops a super chat. Salute to you. Salute to Jeff Reed in the building. Charlie believed in freedom of speech, but not freedom of religion. Well, that makes a whole lot of sense, right? Those are two things within the First Amendment. See, that's called cognitive dissonance. Having two opposing beliefs at the same time. Carrying two opposing beliefs at the same time. Trump, hold on, y'all. Speak your truth. I have no doubt. I appreciate that. Am I going to work? Yeah, I'm going to work. Don't worry about where I'm going. Worry about whether or not y'all going to believe what the government is telling you. Even though y'all don't trust government, y'all mad at me for presenting different information surrounding this whole situation and giving you guys an idea of what occurred leading up to Charlie Kirk's death. Go ahead. Get him his clout. He needs attention. Says Lord Hagar, who's in my chat, writing in the chat section. Y'all make a whole lot of sense up in here, man. I'll tell you what, Bubba. What he said didn't justify his death? No, it didn't. But I don't believe what he said led to his death. I believe it's what he would not do for certain organizations and certain people. That's what I think. I don't think he died because of his free speech. I think he died because he was going he was pulling back on his support of people that would, that commit genocide over in Palestine. That's what I believe. They want y'all to believe he was killed because of his free speech. They want y'all to believe that he was killed by a leftist nut job who was into furry animals and had a trans person that he lived with. That's what I think they want y'all to believe. They wanted y'all to believe that the HBCUs were responsible for his death. They wanted y'all to believe all this bullshit. Ben Shapiro is awesome? Interesting. Y'all might want to look at Ben Shapiro as well, because there were points in time where Ben Shapiro was not too happy about some of the things Charlie Kirk said about Israel. Yes, I didn't. Well, someone asked if I spoke on the person that was standing next to Charlie that appeared to have a gun under his arm. I didn't speak on that, but I did see that. Very interesting stuff, right? Very, very interesting. April Renee says, no, Charlie Kirk said, get over the past. We have equal rights. Well, we know that's not really true. Charlie Kirk was a racist, Christopher Kirkpatrick. I just don't believe he was killed because he was a racist. He was a racist. It's okay. He was a racist. Y'all can believe what y'all want. That's what I believe based on his ideology and his rhetoric and the things that he said. What rights where you want to start? What rights don't I have? Well, I don't have the right to privacy. I don't have the right to keep and bear arms. I don't have the right to free speech. See, these are things that they are closing in on and taking further and further grip on. 20,000 gun control laws on the books. 20,000 gun control laws. Laws against certain types of speech. There are a lot of rights that we don't enjoy because government exists. We don't have the right to not be extorted every week when we get a paycheck. We don't have a right. We don't have a right to full-fledged land ownership without being taxed, without them having eminent domain over our land. How is that? Tell me. Tell me. Well, I'll tell you this. Let me tell you where we don't have equal rights. When it comes to the justice system, when black folks are targeted by the justice system to get harsher sentences for the same crimes as their white counterparts. Or when we're arrested, when we're targeted more so by the police. Black folks are targeted more so by police when black folks and white folks commit an equal amount of crime. We don't get targeted as much by the police. We don't receive, white folks receive less harsh sentences. These are facts. I've presented these facts in a live stream 6 years ago that I reposted a couple days ago. Y'all can go check that out. The facts are there. And a young brother by the name of Jay with Open Eyes, I just shared some content he did yesterday showing the same statistics, going deeper into the statistics that y'all love to use against us. Yeah, I posted that. Y'all can go check that out if you want to see it. But let me guess, you ain't gonna go check it out because you want to be steeped in your optimism, in your confirmation bias. Y'all don't want to look beyond what you want to believe. What they're gonna present you toward what you, they're gonna present you with information And as long as it lines up with what you believe, you're going to stop there. You're not going to take a deeper look. You're not going to fact check. You're not going to do that. Joe, salute to you. I appreciate that. And why do some black men have guns with permit? What are you talking about? Why would the feds lock me up? I'm not committing any crimes. I'm not breaking any laws. Yes, eat my sausage. Government sucks. Absolutely. You believe facts and stacks, Ross? Okay. Like I said, I share content. Look on my community tab, and you will see 2 different videos where I'm presenting statistics and facts, and Jay with Open Eyes is presenting statistics and facts. Billy England says black fatigue. Let me help you out of here. Here, why don't you go take a nap? There you go, Billy. Since you have black fatigue, go take a nap. That means you don't need to be watching me. You're not breaking laws, but you can't have a gun. I don't understand. Why are you asking that question? When are people going to take responsibility for their crime they commit? When they get caught? See, the idea for a criminal who commits crime is that they don't want to get, they're not going to simply just confess unless they're caught. Why would a criminal want to, what are you talking about? The Antifa Quifa says, I got black fatigue too. All right, salute. Go take a nap. There you go. Do I believe blacks are people? No, I believe facts and evidence. If you don't love this country, leave or stop complaining. You sound like a crybaby. Grow up and be a man. Jet Raptor, you are a simpleton. Hawkeye says, you pretty dumb. Charlie was racist. Try watch a full debate instead of just clickbait. What clickbait? Nothing that I put up is clickbait. It's true that they're saying Tyler Robinson had a furry fixation and a trans partner. That's not clickbait. That's what they're saying. And I discussed that. I discussed why I think that's a bunch of hogwash and why I really believe that Charlie Kirk was killed. There is no clickbait. Justin Smet says, that's why I said, depending on where you live, I've been to prison and I have seen both sides of the coin with our justice system. People with money connections get less time if you have very little money. Well, that is a factor, but it's also a factor that the judges who give out the sentences do so based on racial lines. That's just what the statistics show. And it also shows that law enforcement targets one race over the other when they do their thing. Even though blacks and whites commit the same amount of crime. Hold on just a second, y'all. Money controls everything. Yeah, they use yeah, people use money to control shit for sure. Listen, I don't care if y'all believe Charlie Kirk was racist or not. I really don't care about that. What I care about is if Charlie Kirk was murdered for turning against Israel because of what they were doing in what they're doing in Palestine, that is a problem for everybody. I don't believe Charlie Kirk was killed because he's racist. I don't think Charlie Kirk was killed because of free speech. I think Charlie Kirk was killed because of his withdrawal from certain groups of people that tried to pay him to stay in pocket. I believe he was getting out of pocket and said, okay, they said you want to get out of pocket? I got some for your ass. That's why I think he was killed. That's what I'm talking about. That's what I'm talking about. Man, y'all don't want to get into whether or not Charlie Kirk was racist in the shit he said, man. There is way too much information out there that shows exactly who Charlie Kirk was. Stop it. Stop being full of shit. Susie Champagne says, what do I mean out of pocket? He was going against certain individuals that tried to pay him to stay in line and to speak out on their behalf. He no longer wanted to do that. That is getting out of pocket. Show you on what? He never withdrew support of Israel? Okay, dumb monkey McDunkey. Sure. Absolutely. You're absolutely right. What am I talking about? Anyway, thank you guys for coming through. Thank you for hitting the like button. Thank you for your comments and all that good stuff. Thank you to everyone who dropped a super chat. I appreciate it. Listen. Right now, yeah, I'm some guy speaking in the truck. Yeah, I'm talking in the truck I'm renting. I'm not in a position right now, obviously, to show you guys the receipts and the articles and the this and the that, to show you where the money goes, where the money comes from, how things move and shake, how the left-right paradigm lie is being pushed onto you guys, and you guys are accepting it with open arms. But make no mistake, we are going to be ramping up the information. So y'all stay tuned, right? The things I'm going to be discussing during the week, I'm hoping once or twice a week, I'm going to get together with Black Spring with Autumn, and we're going to show you an in-depth view of the things I discussed on this channel. My hope is that we can start getting contacts so that we can start getting whistleblowers. I want whistleblowers out there. If you guys are able to see what I'm saying, I want y'all to know y'all have a safe space on my platform to speak out against the establishment that you know are really controlling things. That's what I hope to be able to do with this channel moving forward. That is the plan. And I want you guys to continue to come through, whether you want to believe it or not. Yeah, copers are going to cope. Absolutely, Jay with open eyes. Jay with open eyes, drop your channel, bro. Jay with open eyes is also dropping some good content regarding this. Listen, the idea is to overwhelm you with this information, whether you agree right now or not, whether you agree in the future or not. You can still come and just get the information, and you guys can believe whatever you want. I don't want y'all to believe what y'all don't want to believe, but at least have information to base your beliefs on, and not just what they present to you. Right? That's the whole idea. That's how everything should be. Why would you say he wasn't racist? Who said he wasn't racist? I didn't say that. I said he was racist. That's what I believe. AJK said, Freedom March, I appreciate your content. One question though. How do we build and keep discipline to do what we want or need? I struggle a lot with procrastinating. You know what? AJK, I'm glad you asked, because I'm going to talk about that too, because I'm also a solutionary. I don't want to just talk about the problems. I want to talk about the solutions. I will cover that. AJK, since you asked, I will do a separate live stream in regards to that as well. Probably later on today. Because there are ways to do it. It's just, you have to be ready to be uncomfortable. If you want to withdraw from the system and be self-sufficient, it takes for you to be ready to be uncomfortable. Mind the Masamusa, salute to you, brother. Yes, freedom ain't free. Absolutely not. And that's what, see, a lot of people think that freedom-minded individuals think freedom is free. We know it's not free. We know it comes at a cost. But what's more costly is peaceful slavery that you're not even aware of in the first place. So anyway, be looking out for that. Be on the lookout for what we have in store for you guys. It's going to be game changing. All right. Yeah, peaceful slavery, Sal Frontiero. Yes. So think about that. In peaceful slavery, I forgot who said that. Some president. I forgot. But it is what it is. Brian from High Impact Flicks says that a lot. I'd rather have dangerous freedom than peaceful slavery. Slick Nasty says I'm a POS. Thank you very much for that. I appreciate that. Thank you. Anyway, much love, like, share, subscribe. Be on the lookout. I'm going to continue to do my content over here, but I'm also going to be doing content with someone else who is a great researcher, a great presenter, and we are going to be going over this content together in depth. And as a matter of fact, one of the first pieces of content we're going to be doing has to do with Trump, okay? What Trump has going on. So it's going to be mind-blowing and eye-opening. And most of you probably don't even know about it. Yes, Thomas Jefferson. There you go. Samuel J. Lupica. I appreciate that. Thank you. I prefer dangerous freedom to peaceful slavery. He said, yeah, that's basically what Thomas Jefferson said. Ironically, he helped frame the Constitution. Anyway, much love, like, share, subscribe. Y'all look out for that. Make sure you subscribe or make to turn on your notifications so that we can keep getting this content out to you guys, all right? Queen Mother Shakila. Salute to you. Good morning, Queen Mother Shakila. Anyway, holla at y'all later, man. Y'all stay up. Please hit the like button on the way out. And we're going to keep marching forward toward freedom. Peace.